The Great Plains Project is a 6-episode travel documentary series following
photographer Jared Foster and a writer, Brandon Weaver, going on a
22-day trip going up from Presidio, Texas to Fortuna, North Dakota.
Cutting right through the middle of America, exploring what is essentially flyover country.
Looking at rural land, looking at different cities and establishments and people that really make up the area.
We've got a group of students that'll be following us to document the trip.
I was an audio technician,
assistant producer,
A camera operator.
The scenics camera.
To film it.
There's nothing like seeing a group of students come into their own and handle cameras like professionals. It was a different experience. It was the hardest experience, and these students had to act like a guerrilla film crew. They were moving at a rapid pace. They were having to meet new people, shoot, ask permission later. It was something that you just don't learn in a classroom.
All right. Great Plains.
So, the Great Plains Project is going to be a documentary series that a student crew produced at Texas Tech Public Media through a course. It's about a photographer, Jared Foster, and a writer, Brandon Weaver, going on a 18-day motorcycle trip up through the Great Plains from Presidio, Texas to Fortuna, North Dakota. The Great Plains really just throws you into the real world, and having that as a course you can take as a college student is so mind-blowing. It puts you in a tough space to where you kind of have to battle yourself mentally, physically, creatively, and it really challenges you. And being able to go through those types of courses kind of showed me what I can do and how far I can challenge myself, and that I can actually do these types of things.
Watch out for bugs if it lands now.
You gotta see the camera.
3, 2,
Cheese.
Growing up, I always wanted to travel, and I loved nature, but I never went camping, but I loved the outdoors, and I wanted to explore that. I don't think I was just ever really given the opportunity to explore those things as a kid. Once I saw these types of field courses and I saw the type of outdoor activities that came with it, it actually really made me excited. But it was a new territory for me, and I had no idea what I was getting into. My dream job is to be a documentary filmmaker, because I feel like I just love going out and seeing new people, new cultures, new environments. I love being able to tell their stories. I love being able to listen to their story and visualize it in your head and be able to produce it visually for an audience. We were in the back seat together, and I grew really close with Hannah. You know, it gets to a point where you need to talk things out, something that's going on in your personal life. I felt like me and her really bonded. I had somebody that I could find comfort around if I needed it. And it was just something very special to have on a trip like this. She's funny. She thinks I'm funny. I don't think I'm funny, but she does. I just love to laugh, and that's how I honestly get through hard things, is just being able to have fun with people. And I was able to really do that with the crew that I had.
I started college not really knowing exactly where I was going to be this day and time. However, it was made aware to me very early on in my educational journey that my professors, who really took the time to invest in me as a person and not just as a student, helped shape my journey moving forward. My name is Hannah Hudgens, and I'm a senior agricultural communications and creative media industries major. On the Great Plains Project and on this particular route, my role was to be a producer, and my responsibilities and my role in that, as a creative, was to film it and to showcase it in a way that is compelling and that really connects people to what we were doing out in the backcountry. You know, you start your mornings off at sunrise. And getting the environmental shots to really establish a sense of place, get and relay a feel for the environment for those that are watching. But I would be up before the sunrise, pack up my bags, put up my tent, get everything situated, and start filming. And, you know, photography and pursuing videography are two things that I did not anticipate for myself. It's funny whenever I talk with my parents about, you know, the things that I'm interested in, the things that I'm doing and pursuing professionally, and they're like, we have no idea where you got this interest. You know, my parents are both in more STEM-oriented career fields, and so I'm kind of the creative oddball of my family. I remember writing from a very early age. I don't want to say I was a super quiet kid, but I think I've always been reserved and more introspective than not. It's just been something that's always been innate. I don't know, I don't think I ever gave myself the grace to pursue creative things professionally because my whole life, I guess I had just been focused on traditional academia in the sense of a grade point average and class rank and just pigeonholing myself into a place that had no fulfillment or life. And as somebody who has taken that bold stride to say, I am going to pursue this even if it's not as traditional, I'm going to do it because it's something that gives my life purpose and it gives my days joy and meaning.
Rudy's, you know, it's a grind, but it's fun. It pays the bills. I've always wanted to go into something more multimedia. When I got the call from Jared and he said I could get my internship credit and we would be traveling and filming, I couldn't pass up an opportunity like the Great Plains. People think that, like, if you want to make change in the world, be a part of government, like, you have to be an activist. And those things are great, but studying journalism is kind of learning how to participate in society in a way that makes changes, in a way that's accessible for people. Some of the most rewarding parts of studying journalism is being able to participate in things that are bigger than yourself. It's a noble field to pursue because just by the nature of it, you're telling stories of people who are disadvantaged, actively trying with your storytelling to make people's lives better. My name is Kenneth Andrews. I am a fourth-year journalism and CMI major with minors in media strategies and history. My role for the Great Plains Project, I was an audio technician. Audio is one of those less glorified positions in the media production realm. Everybody wants to be either on camera or to operate the cameras. And so I was taking on a new challenge that I'd never really done before. But it was cool to be a part of that. It was cool to be able to have be able to put my input in on how to make things more efficient and how to get the job done. I did not anticipate the production schedule that we were on. We spent more time in Texas than we did in any other state. No one's ever really tried to do what we were doing. So there were a lot of kind of growing pains in what we were trying to do and figuring out a rhythm and routine. For about the first probably 5 or 6 days, we didn't actually get a chance to see any of our campsites because we got there after dark and we left very early in the morning.
There it is. Now I can breathe. Yeah, it's like cooking him up. How long did it take you running house?
I mean, it was a little over an hour. I did a workout.
Being in the Jeep was kind of crazy.
That was an interesting paint, the edge.
We were in the lead vehicle, so the scenic crew, which is doing all your beauty shots, were in the truck. And so we were right behind the motorcycles almost all the time. That was definitely challenging because we're following them very closely because we're trying to film them on the GoPros mounted to the front of the Jeep. We'd be following them, and anytime something interesting happened, boom, you better have your stuff ready. We're getting out to go film because you don't want to miss anything that could be hugely important for the story. Boom, it's over. Jump back in the truck right away. We gotta book it because we got miles to make.
Store right now with all these dogs. If you think you want to shoot that, I may go over there real quick and head a dog. Yeah, this we're going rogue. We've gone rogue. Everyone's back there. Jared's talking to some cyclist. Come on, I gotta go. There's a basset hound I have to see. Lizzie? Hi, Lizzie. Who's this? Mr. what?
Mr. Darcy.
Darcy?
Mr. Darcy, yep, from, they're both in Nathan's Pride and Prejudice.
Mr. Darcy. What are you doing?
Hello. Hey. Hello. We're on the square. Hello. Michael, you're not helping. I'm just walking this best.
My involvement in immersive learning programs and field courses at Texas Tech has just been, I guess, a domino effect. My freshman year, when I first started taking field programs, I wore these pair of shoes, and they were Merrell, just low-top hiking shoes, and they have these little art, designs on them by an artist, and one of them says, "Take a bet on yourself." And I remember a moment in which I looked down at my feet, and I'm standing on the top of Mount Livermore, the fourth tallest peak in Texas, and it was for the Junction Field Photography program with Jared Foster. And I'm like, man, my feet have wound up in this place by taking a bet on myself. And I just remember thinking, like, if this is the start of it, I can't wait for what's next. And, you know, taking a leap of faith sometimes looks like being uncomfortable, but there is so much fulfillment in risk. And that's a hard thing to, I think, justify sometimes whenever you have to take that first step, but I'm sure glad I did. The human experience is not all rainbows and butterflies, and I think any person with a sane mind can say that. There are days that are hard, there are times that are hard, there are days characterized by sorrow, there are days characterized by joy. You know, there's a time for everything. You know, there's a time for mourning and there's a time for dancing. And throughout, you know, the Great Plains Project and throughout this journey, that very much is true. There are days that I was tired and that I just needed some time to myself. But then there are also days that I want nothing more than just to hug on people, to love on people, to be a bubbly personnel, and just an extension of joy.
There were times where we would stop at a gas station and Brandon would write a dispatch, or Jared would be editing some photos, or we would be backing up SD cards and stuff. And so we would have probably anywhere from an hour and a half to like a 3-hour break at a gas station in some small town in the middle of nowhere. You could just kind of hang out, be outside. As long as nobody was filming or recording anything, you could have any conversations that you wanted, be able to make a phone call home, or, you know, sit down and edit some photos. So those times were really nice for being able to find breaks. Your gas station food kind of gets a bad rap, but if you know what to pick out, it's actually not that bad. Like, you're not getting sushi, so, you know, a lot of bean burritos, which are a lot of fiber, good for the digestion.
I think the most rewarding aspect of my involvement on the Great Plains Project lies in those that we got to interact with and commune with, namely the Pachecos. Growing up heavily surrounded by agricultural production and having family members that made their living, it gives you just a deeper admiration and appreciation for the people that provide food on the table. The Midwest and the Great Plains region of America puts food on the table. They provide for people like you and I, and being able to connect with people that are in those livelihoods and in those pursuits is fulfilling and rewarding, and it just gives you a greater appreciation. But having people that serve as stewards of, you know, things like education and learning and really invest in their students like myself is just a great blessing. I feel like it's rare that people have experiences like I have had in my time in college, and people that were also on the Great Plains Project have had, of where you're with your professors and with your mentors almost 24/7. I mean, you're out in the boonies camping in a tent, and you're up before the sunrise, and you're out watching the stars before, you go to sleep. And so you learn a lot in those environments that are not traditional, I suppose.
You like forget what you brought. You're like, oh yes, I wore that.
I did not see myself going down this path. For a really long time, I wanted to be an astronomer, but that dream kind of died when I realized astronomy is mostly just math and not actually looking at cool pictures of stars. I started doing it in the news and media sphere when I was in 5th grade. Our media teacher wanted me to be part of the morning announcements, which we did every morning, and it was a full setup. We had cameras and we had anchors, and it was a pretty big setup for an elementary school, and I hated it because I had to be at school an hour early and I wanted to sleep in. And what really got me hooked on this as a career plan was a breakout session led by a sports broadcaster, and I realized that this industry could be a lot more than just shooting things around school, and it could be much bigger and more exciting than what I thought it was. I feel much more confident in my abilities as a producer, as a creator, but, you know, programs like the Great Plains and Adventure Media, they open so many doors as well, like so many future career options. But seeing people be a part of this industry in a much more formal way has opened my eyes to being like a freelance photographer for news outlets, or, you know, working for a tourism department, and you're still able to tell these stories that are going to impact people's lives, but you do it for someone else. I just hope I'm doing something really cool for a living.
Last question. What is your dream job?
Ooh. If you hate me for this answer, I'll give you a different one. I think think the most innate desire that I have is to be a mother. And I don't want to ever undermine the role and the vitality and the importance of what it means to be a mom. My mom is incredible, and she inspires me in so many ways, and encourages me and cares for me and loves me. I think it would bring me so much joy to be able to be a good mom. Mom always jokes that I thought I was gonna be a nurse. You know, I've always been the person that wants to nurture and wants to care and wants to tend to people's needs and make them feel seen, loved, and heard. Probably in part because my mom was that figure in my life. When we were sick, she'd take care of us. And even if we're well, she takes great care of us and feeds us good food and, you know, does the things that a traditional mother would do. My mom, she's bubbly, she's joyful, she's kind. My mom teaches me what it's like to care and to care well for people, what it means to love and to love well. She's joyful, she's empathetic, she's compassionate. My mom inspires me to be a good mom. I hope to embody her as much as I can.
What?
Are you hearing a squeak?
No.
I'm hearing a squeak over here. Like not a...
No, I can't hear anything because she's sprained.
Hold up. I think for me, experiences like this have kind of just taught me who I am, that I can do whatever I put my mind to, and something about doing really hard things makes you just want to keep doing more hard things. Note to self, whoever has this packing whatever thing, just make sure you stuff the sides with something so that way rats can't hide in it. My name is Shayla Romero. I'm a junior creative media industries major here at Texas Tech. I actually had the opportunity to graduate earlier. I could have graduated this upcoming May, and Foster approached me about Great Plains Project, and I was like, I want to do that. So I actually pushed back my graduation till December of 2026 to be part of this experience. Yeah, my friends actually have to book me out on my calendar 2 weeks in advance. If they try to make plans with me the week of, it's probably always going to be a no, because I am pretty much always booked. I am involved in a lot of things. I'm a student ambassador for the College of Media Communication. I am a captain this year for orientation services. I intern for Texas Tech as their video intern with the video team. I have a lot of hats and a lot of different buckets. I just want people to know that, like, there's just so many options here, and like there's really is no limit. That's yours.
Is this anybody's?
We were divided into 2 different groups for this project. We had 5 people go out for Group A and then 5 people go out for Group B, because it's a pretty massive undertaking to ask students to take, you know, almost 3 weeks off of classes, so we split it up. So I was part of Group B. I wasn't that nervous for the passing of the torch. I mean, I was, but I also felt pretty confident that I'd be able to catch up and get back to speed. My biggest worry was like slowing anyone down. I was really worried that because Group A had gotten in the groove of things, and you know, they were leaving right when maybe they probably finally settled into a routine, to just have to start over again with a new team was probably really scary for Simon and Maddie. I just made an effort to, you know, be there, ask questions, and to just provide as much as I could, and to get to know them a little bit better. That way it was easier to work with them.
I've always kind of just thought that when you're around people that want to be around you, when you provide a sense of joy to someone when you're helping someone rather than making their life difficult. You don't know what people are going through, and when I've had the opportunity to be on these experiences, such as the Great Plains Project, I find that I like to be a part of a team.
Sick. That was a good shot.
My name is Eddie McBroom. I'm a senior agricultural communications student here at Texas Tech University. I had a weird fascination with skydiving. I just always liked adrenaline, and I like things that make you scared. But then once you overcome them, you feel like you're on top of the world. Seeing the opportunities that you can have with media production and then combining that with action sports in a sense is again, just a no-brainer. I knew it was gonna be a lot of work, a lot of filming. I always had to remember, and it always helped me, that I am shooting a TV show right now. That was always something that motivated me, so anytime I was maybe getting a little tired or not wanting to pick up a camera at the time, I kind of looked at it as some kind of like long cardio, doing like a long cycle journey or anything like that, where at the beginning you're kind of getting into it, you're figuring out your rhythm. Slowly, as the days move on and the trip continues, you start to find that rhythm, and you start to grow and develop your skills even further while getting your real world field experience.
We're gonna hang out the window, and then we're gonna do like this back and forth. Or I think that's gonna be on the more gravel.
The only thing with the roads at the moment is that they're only like one.
Yeah. And it's bumpy.
Yeah, so
Hanging
it's
out
kind
the
of
window's
hard.
not.
Like, to be next to them, we have to like be on the opposite side of the road, which is not really safe.
That's what we did yesterday.
Yeah, but not the whole time, you know. I really had no experience of the outdoors until Adventure Media. You know, I'd never been camping, and then we went out and we did the Monumental Loop in Las Cruces, and that was the first time that I really became acquainted with the outdoors, and it was the first time that I really like learned how beautiful and how much of a getaway it could be. It was actually my first time experiencing like that level of silence too. I'm the first person in my family to go to college traditionally. My parents have had college education, but they've gotten it later in life, you know, like after kids and marriage and all of that. And, you know, like when you come to college, you can do a whole rebrand. Like you can just, a lot of people are just like, I'm gonna go by a different name or something else. But for me, college, I really wanted it to be a moment of discovery and finding out like who I am, what I'm good at, what I like to do. Find my own passions, because I mean, I've always been interested in a lot of things, but I really wanted to kind of narrow down. And being part of like Adventure Media, Great Plains, Iceland, South Africa, like all of those experiences have formed me in a way, but they have also given me such tremendous confidence. It's kind of as like proof to yourself that like you can just overcome things, and you can kind of just handle what life takes at you. And then after you complete it, you're always like, oh, you know, like that actually wasn't that bad. Even though in the moment you're like, this is actually the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life. I want to be challenged. I want to be out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't want to always be where I am. I don't want somebody to look at me and tell me like, oh, you're going to be this in 5 years. Like, I want to surprise people. There's so many options out there, and I feel a lot more confident in being able to tackle whatever life throws at me post-college.
But yeah, my goal is like to learn every week. And I'm already like 3 sections in because it's just kind of. You guys looking for a summer job?
You guys looking for a summer job?
Not currently, thank you.
I got one lined up actually, so thank you.
I ask questions because I just really like getting to know people. Sometimes people just assume, and I don't like to assume. I like people to tell me things. Being curious has always come quite naturally to me. I tend to value a lot the uniqueness in every person, and I always wonder, like, how did you get to be the way that you are? What has changed you? What has affected you? People say that you're like a combination of like the 5 people closest to you, and you know, it always makes me wonder, like, what did you take from this person, and what did you take from that other person? And because I feel like I am definitely a combination of a lot of my experiences, and the people I've met and my mentors, and I just want to know what makes people who they are and what inspires them and, you know, their why.
That looks good. I'm happy with it. Yeah, sure. I don't know where it's at. Hey, Sam, that's the word I'm looking for.
Is that, how many more are we adding to there?
Well, everyone should have one, but then also there was, we got to assign commuter staff. Plus roommates. Only the important ones.
I think you told me.
Music out of nowhere. Small special.
I
Out of nowhere. We have not put up yet. Arden's using the ladder.
Well, then you can grab the other ladder.
Oh my gosh, the other ladder's so big. I don't want to grab that ladder.
I work at the Outdoor Pursuit Center here at Texas Tech University.
We need to do a big OPC karaoke. Karaoke.
Working here at the Outdoor Pursuit Center, we're focused around the outdoors. That's anywhere from bikes to snowboards to various trips that we offer for students to take. Working with PBS this semester and getting to film a travel documentary. I don't think there's two opportunities for a student right now that could better align than working in an outdoor related program and then also being able to participate in a internship that's focused on travel documentary. My absolute dream job would be working in media production, specifically videography related to action sports. Working for someone like Red Bull Snow, I think that would just be incredible. Being able to be in the outdoors doing these exciting things such as snowboarding while also working a camera, I couldn't think of anything better. When I first got to Tech as a freshman, I was a ag business major, and a lot of times I felt kind of lost. I was pretty shy. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I feel like my first year and a half here at Texas Tech, I threw away a little bit. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Now that I'm a senior here and I've had the opportunity to experience things such as Adventure Media and the Great Plains Project, it's made me realize that I really wish I would have gotten to all of this a lot sooner.
Because it's usually during Thanksgiving that in like Texas that they're out.
Say we didn't really, since we missed the tire where you wanted me to get their tires, I still haven't gotten
Yeah.
like that. I can
Yes.
get close to it.
Yeah, prioritize that for maybe like the first 2 or 3
Okay.
stops, and once you're confident, and get let's say, just to cover our butts, get 2 at 30, and then do a slow-mo one at 60.
Oh, okay.
Once I was able to pick up a camera, and I realized that the first 2 years I was here at Tech, I was doing things that I was not interested in. In just this year, I've had some incredible opportunities that I am beyond grateful for. I've definitely become more outgoing and more comfortable with myself and comfortable with others. Once I kind of figured out my interests, then being able to surround myself with like-minded people and people that could help me grow and I could help them grow really just gave me opportunities to express myself better and to grow into the person that I want to be. I know that I just definitely want to be behind the camera. I want to be working and telling stories in whichever way I can. So if I can land a job or go to grad school to continue my experience with videography and photography, then I think I'll be happy no matter what. Y'all didn't see that.
Nope, didn't.
uninteresting.
Like I'm just like, I do one thing and then I have to wait. But here we go. Here's the sign. Farts.
Okay, well I'm gonna section them off this time. I was gonna put a hair tie in, but no.
I fear.
I just needed to section one off because I sectioned them and then she
Jill just-
brushed her hair behind her shoulders.
Perfect.
So I need to make sure she doesn't
All right.
do that again.
1 minute left. We currently have.
Do you have both hair ties?
Yeah, I've got them on my wrist.
I have more in my backpack too.
Do you need to?
My family is actually from the Dominican Republic. I lived in the Dominican Republic till I was 4, but then I moved to New York and my dad didn't have his visa. So it was like I saw him once a year during the summer because he couldn't really come visit. So he got his visa and moved to New York, and then he had to work like 2 jobs to make sure that we had a roof over our head. And it's hard because as a child you just want your parents to like hang out with you. But as I've gotten older, I've realized all the things that my parents have sacrificed for me. My dad enlisted in the military when I was 11. And it was hard, like, on us as a family, because it's like my dad used to get deployed because he would have to miss a couple of, like, birthdays and, like, milestones and stuff like that. I've seen my parents face a lot of difficulty and lose a lot of confidence in themselves because of just their environment and situation. I've seen my mom struggle to, keep motivation to finish her bachelor's, and I've seen my dad start over so many times in different careers, and he's just now, like, finally following his passion. And I know, like, a lot of it took the back burner because what was important was making sure that we were provided for and cared for. First of all, I always want them to be proud of me and, like, what I do, because I want them to recognize that, like, the things that they did and the things that they had to go through, like, I appreciate all of it. I feel like I owe it to them to just take advantage of all the opportunities that I have, and I just feel really lucky that I've been able to do everything that I've been able to do.
That's another state in our rear view mirror.
Oh yeah! Is our second to last one too?
Yeah. Everybody in the car?
I've had so many dream jobs. I wanted to be a poet. I have thought about working for National Geographic. I've thought about working for Yeti. I've thought about coming back here, being a professor at Tech. I knew that people made documentaries for a living, but I always thought it had to be, like big Hollywood, like Netflix production and all of that. But being part of these field experiences has really taught me, like, there's always an audience, and sometimes you just have to make do with what you have. Simon had been wanting to, do something like this for, like, Great Plains for a while. It still offered a lot of resources for this experience and this trip. Like, he definitely, like, gave the impression that, like, this was years in the making and that he was, like, super excited to be a part of it. And being able to get to know Simon a little bit more and his role at PBS and what he does, it's been really interesting to see, like, how many different avenues there are, like, for documentary filmmaking and just storytelling in general. Even getting to know Maddie a little bit, seeing her be a very passionate storyteller and being really good at what she does. It was great to take mentorship from both of them and to have them as resources to rely on down the road. I mean, so much talk in the Jeep was Simon talking about the trajectory of his life and how it didn't quite pan out the way that he thought it would, but just how lucky he's been to do a lot of the opportunities that he's had and how he fell into, filmmaking and storytelling. And it's great to know that I don't have to be limited in what I do, and it's been really great to just be able to pick at their brains and just learn from them and absorb whatever I can.
My name is Angelina Gonzalez.
My name is Kenneth Andrews.
My name is Eddie McBroom.
My name is Hannah Hudgens.
And from here,
And from here,
And from here,
And from here,
it's possible.